Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody, welcome back. For those of you that were listening to the first hour, this is part 2. Thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on. I'm Dr. Pat. You're listening to the Dr. Pat Show on Transformation Talk Radio, probably on KKNW, probably a couple of other places as well. Definitely. Thank you, Benny.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, because we're in the studio
right now. The mothership.
Yeah, it is the mothership. We're in the studio right now looking at a beautiful, beautiful day out there. I have 2 people that you heard in the first segment of the show, and I know you guys may have questions, and I forgot to open up the phone line, so let me do it. 1-800-930-2819. This is a really important conversation with Karen and with Dan for a lot of reasons. One of them is I am just really tired of seeing my friends and family members suffer. And I wasn't able to connect the dots. And I know Dr. Darvish and I had conversations about this about 2 years ago. And now we're starting to see information about water, what it is, what it isn't. But alkaline ionized water is something that I think everyone is going to want to know more of. Now, here's what I want to say. Dan and Karen are going to tell you about the water, but they're going to tell you about the machine that also produces the water. For me, I want to make sure that whatever we do on this show, and you all should know this, all of the proceeds from anyone that purchases any of these machines, the proceeds are going to go back to wellness awareness with a very specific focus. But in general, it's going to go back to producing information, shows, everything in support of wellness and health. Now, in addition, we now know about the difference between Lyme disease and the effects of this from anecdotal, meaning stories. And I'm going to touch upon that. So with a very specific focus, when we launch our campaign for Lyme disease awareness and our crowdfunding campaign, again, I'm going to say that any of you that purchase these machines, the funding that happens as a result of that is going to be put back in our community to keep the light burning on information, radio, anything that we need to do to keep everybody out there healthy and well. And that's very important for us. So that is really something I've never done before. In the 13 years I'm doing radio, I've always stepped back and have had things happen. But today, this is way too important. So, there's going to be information for you that Dan is going to provide. We're putting up information, and what a great way to make sure that we don't go off the air is to take something that could literally fund wellness shows for all of you all over the world. That's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to pay it forward. So if you're thinking, I want to get a machine, know that the minute that you do that funding that happens as a result of that is going to go right into a pool to keep and raise the level of health, wellness, and awareness on airs. As a matter of fact, we are hoping that the sale of anything that happens as a result of these shows moving forward is going to literally fund our channel, dedicated channel, our health and wellness channel, ready to launch in September. Dan, Karen, it's great to have you here. We still have Ken as well, right, Ken? Ken, you still there?
I'm here.
All right. So part 1, we gave you a background about this. Part 2 is to tell people what is the water, what is the machine we're referring to, why this machine, and how long has it been around. And, to continue, we got to do part 2 on the tomato show.
Right.
right? Tomatoes. I grew up with tomatoes.
And the reason this is important is...
Dan, say hi.
Hello.
Karen, say hi.
Hi.
Karen.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Dan is so excited. He's like, shut up. Man, I want to tell you about the tomatoes.
Well, when I show this to mothers out there, it's just always the same reaction. Their jaws drop, and I want the listeners to see this. So what we have here is the oil-based herbicides and pesticides, everything that comes off of these tomatoes. But the second part of this demonstration is we're back to the tap water that we actually soaked these tomatoes in the first place. And even though they were only in there for a very, very, very short amount of time, I'm putting a large amount of chlorine back in the water. And what we're doing here is showing the original chlorine in the water.
You did it with the drops?
I did it with the... See, and you notice, you didn't even notice because it's not turning color.
No,
and that's how fast that not only are we consuming this in our vegetables, but we're also...
So you put the drops back in that water?
To detect
that I
chlorine.
soaked.
So where did the chlorine go?
Into the tomatoes. So a lot of people are out there under the misconception that they go home and wash their food, but it's actually their vegetables that are cleaning their water.
Oh, so the tomatoes sucked up the chlorine.
Just that fast, as quickly as we did that.
So you're eating the herbicides, the pesticides, and the chlorine.
Jessica, you getting all that?
So here's your original chlorine in the water
Is that
supply.
mind-boggling? Right?
I mean, look at that. And if you ask a mother out there, they don't know that this is happening. They don't know that they're feeding this to their family.
Well, if you're living in the Pacific Northwest now, you're going to know, because what's going on with the tap water is just like shocking everybody here.
It's amazing.
I got an email from, my East Coast friends. They're like, oh, really? I thought you people were supposed to be having to clean water. I thought so, too. Now, Ken, you wanted to say a couple of things here.
Yes, thank you so much. One of the components, and that Karen and Dan pointed out, that this technology delivers is what's called microclustering. And to make this a short story, typically water molecules are rather large. They cluster together and have a challenge being absorbed by the body and cells. And so what this process does, it makes it very tiny and changes the shape to be hexagonal, which is very favorable to penetrating the cells and being absorbed by the body. So people, you talked earlier about people's reluctance to drink water. They didn't even like the taste. It bloats them. Because of the small molecular structure, during a workout, after whatever, there's no bloating involved because the body absorbs it so readily. In fact, in the morning, we recommend 2 10-ounce glasses as soon as your foot hits the ground, and immediately, within 1 minute, it hits your brain. And you are alive, you're on top of things, you are alert, and you are vital. So the microclustering that I believe they're going to demonstrate in a little bit is extremely valuable. I'm going to close on a note. I came back to the idea that most people don't drink a lot of water because they're not in the habit of drinking it. They don't know the essential part to their wellness of prevention and longevity, and they don't have a clue on what the recommended amount is. It's going to take a little bit of time. I used a whole sticky note pad to get myself oriented over 4 to 6 weeks on my car, my mirrors, everything, to remind me to ingest the water. It is worth the commitment. I'm suggesting people do not let life take away from living a vital, well, happy, and joyful life. So I suggest very strongly that they take action to get more research, find out what's going on, check Dan's site, your site, and take that knowledge and act upon it. You guys have been so gracious. I'm so fortunate to be able to contribute to this here, and you only have an inkling of how significant your show and this particular program is going to impact lives forever. So bless you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you so much. Now, first of all, before we do the demonstration, tell people a little bit about the machine, because we never did mention what it is, and I know our listeners probably have heard of it, but they've never heard me talk about it.
Well, I guess probably the key part that we want to identify with regards to the difference between alkaline water and alkaline ionized water is that when the water goes through the machine, not only does it get filtered, but it's actually the water gets separated. The acidic ions and the alkaline ions are separated, so you have, an abundance of alkaline mineral together, which creates your high pH, unlike bottled water, which gets its chemical or its high alkalinity from chemical additives. That's why the majority of water bottles have ingredients on it. Right. There's no ingredients in the Kangen water. It also goes through a process of electrolysis where there provides a light charge to the water and allows the water to come out with a negative charge to it. Earlier when you were speaking
immediately. Like when you're doing it, like right there, not sitting in a plastic bottle for 2 months.
Right.
We've actually heard from the bottled water industry people. I have a friend that says the average bottle of water that's sitting on the shelf, think of the leaching chemicals from the plastic, etc., has been there 9 months when you go to put it in your shopping cart.
Well, and that's the main reason that's why they can never legally call bottled water alkaline ionized water, because the hydrogen's dissipated within 36 to 48 hours, and the hydrogen is really what is your antioxidant properties of the water, which provides some healing therapeutic treatment for your body.
It doesn't stay. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and anybody that knows anything about that with ionizers or even the ozone water, the bottom line is that it doesn't stay.
Right. Well, and there's been a lot of research. We want to make sure that people know that they can go to the Molecular Hydrogen Institute website to look at the studies that have been done and proven. Go to pubmed.org. To look at documentation on different medical studies that have been proven to show that hydrogen in the body provides a lot of therapies and healing for the body, so that the immune system can do what it needs to do to keep us healthy.
And has been used.
But we're talking about water.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we should let people know that that's actually the machine we've been alluding to for about an hour and 10 minutes here that I totally forgot to say. But the reason that that's important is, we're talking about something that's been around for a while.
Over 40 years.
Yeah, and that was important to me. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to do another demonstration, right? But what's the phone number that folks can call you at?
206-769-0692. Once again, that's 206-769-0692. And if you have any questions for Karen, too, 206-769-0875. 0875.
Okay, great. And if you want to call into the show, 1-800-930-2819. Getting some questions in here. We'll try to get them on air. We also have some other folks that are waiting to call in as well. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to the Angels and Answers Psychic Radio Show with clairvoyants Artie Hoffman and Sky Siegel every Thursday for a 2-hour show, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Artie and Sky deliver spiritual and motivational messages with passion and a sense of humor. Call in 800-930-2819 for live and on-air readings. Visit artiehoffman.com and skyofangels.com.
Are you ready to stop stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem from running your life? Join award-winning author Dr. Friedemann Schaub for Empowerment Radio and learn breakthrough solutions to switch out of survival mode and approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in the first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific to Empowerment Radio with host Dr. Friedemann Schaub on Transformation Talk Radio. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com to learn more.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Are you ready for a game changer? Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Sarah brings you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Tune into Business Game Changers Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Almost everyone at some time in their lives ask themselves, what am I? Most of our questions are ego-generated and simply don't address the problem of our false self. It's time to relax your ego and embody your soul. Dr. Dan Cohen, neurologist, inventor, and author, has created tools to awaken a new way to transform from who you thought you were into what you truly are. Visit toolstoawaken.com today.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's great to be tuning all of you in, turning us on, doing all of the above. I'm making a little headphone adjustment here. I'm not sure what happened to my little headphones here, so that I can hear myself talk. Don't you want to hear myself talk, everybody? Welcome back, Dan, Karen. Before we jump back in and talk about and do another demonstration, I want to back up for a little bit and kind of piggyback off what Ken was saying. There are some benefits that folks are now finding that separates the water that we're talking about, from a lot of other waters. Sure. Like the pH water you can get now. You can actually go to the QFC now and get their own version of pH water.
Sure.
But there is a big difference.
Absolutely.
The point, though, is there have been benefits now that we can actually document. And I think we should just step back and take a minute and talk about them. Right. I also have some benefits that are listed that I want to talk about, especially around Lyme disease, the stories that people are telling. Absolutely. So give us a rundown.
Absolutely. So, thank you for that. And what the biggest component of this water that separates itself from any bottled water in the world is the antioxidant property. And it's been proven time and time again that although we don't make any kind of medical claims, when you take the body and put it in a very alkaline state, and I'm not talking about through bottled waters where it's minerally based and added, I'm talking about where the pH from hydrogen. So putting the body in a very, very alkaline state puts your body in the best position to heal itself. And the biggest part of that is the antioxidant properties, which become a free radical neutralizer. And with that, we've seen amazing results with cholesterol, diabetes, things of that nature, autoimmune disease, a little bit of differences on the 2.5 and the 11.5, taking the chemicals out of the kitchen for some of these women that have fibromyalgia, lupus, conditions like that, have all seen amazing benefits from this. So I think that's a byproduct of putting the body in an alkaline state. As we all know, disease thrives in an acidic environment. The buildup of arthritis and things like that is just the acidic buildup. So what this water does is not only detoxifies and cleanse you, but with a massive amount of hydrogen, works as a powerful antioxidant. And the penetration level, Pat was saying a great thing. I never drank water in my life until I came across this. And if anybody thinks they were a skeptic, not like I was. I mean, I was the skeptic.
But I think our body knows. I think our body knows what's coming out of that faucet.
Sure.
We have psychics and intuitives on this show all the time.
Right.
And they'll come on here and they'll tell you the body knows.
And you want to know the biggest thing that I get with people is they go, I don't like the way that it feels. And that's going to take us right into the next demonstration because less than 15% of all bottled water or tap water is actually taken in through your skin cells and tissues. So to demonstrate that, because the great thing about what we do is we don't say anything without being able to show you as well. So with this water and the fact that it's gone through the process of electrolysis, over 80% of it is penetrating your skin cells and tissue. Now, Pat, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this on your show. Do I have to cover up these bottled waters? Because these are some of the best sellers.
Jessica, you can block that out when you do the video.
These are some of the best sellers in the world, and we're going to show you that they have very, very little value based on pH and what they're willing to do.
Yeah, people know what the best sellers are. You can go on the internet. But
so we're
not calling out any one company. It's going to work with any of them.
No. And any bottled water is going to be the same. There's no antioxidant properties.
So what are you doing? You're taking bottled water. You're putting it what?
And for the listeners, I'm pouring it over a tea bag.
All right, nice.
And for your listeners out there, we basically call this the equivalent of you're standing at a chain link fence throwing softballs, which would be your bottled water. Now, if you see this, I want her to look at this very, very quickly, and I'll put it in the light. It's remaining clear, okay? Less than 15% of it is penetrating this tea bag, and it actually can't because of the molecular structure of the water. Now, watch what happens, Patty. Now, this is amazing when we take the water and pour it over the very same tea bag. Now, look at this.
Well,
Then you don't laugh.
Water.
Then he's like laughing at me.
Look at that.
That
is the same bag.
Right.
Now.
Right. Well, wait. Let me just say. Now, if you can't see it, describe what just happened.
Well, the tea actually was penetrated by the water and turned
without being hot.
Without being hot.
Right.
And turned a bright brown. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, but you warmed it up in the first one, so let's go back one more time and show people that it has nothing to do with the tea bag and everything to do with the water.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that? Now, there's another bestseller in the world. It's doing nothing for that tea bag. There you go, one more time. And then here we go. And I promise to clean up all messes, but watch this. And that's how fast...
Dan, you're so neat.
That's how fast this water penetrates your skin, cells, and your tissue.
Right.
And that's why people don't mind drinking this, because it doesn't sit heavy like a rock in their stomach. It actually gets into their...
Well, I want to share something. I use a certain mushroom. No, not hallucinogenic. But I use a very special mushroom because we're finding about mushrooms. And it's organic. I get it on Amazon. You don't have to get it on... it doesn't matter where you get it. But I did a demonstration, and I did exactly what you did with the tea bag.
Unbelievable.
But as opposed to that, I put the mushroom stuff in a glass, and I put regular water in it, not hot. You're supposed to heat it up because unless you heat it up, you can't get the elements out of it. Mm-hmm. And so I put it in there, and nothing with the tap water.
No.
Then I used the pH water from the machine, and you could literally see that the mushrooms and the minerals from it extracted.
I think I was there when you did that. That was amazing.
That's right, you were.
That was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're now, we have a list of the benefits that people are talking about with this. I will tell you that what is starting to emerge, and I'm kind of excited about this. I'm not going to say that there is any science on this right now, but stay tuned, there will be. You will find that there are more and more stories out there specifically around Lyme disease. And, the water we're talking about today. All you need to do is just Google it. You can Google Lyme disease and the water. Yeah, there we go.
Water and autism?
Yeah. And you can Google it, and you'll be able to get information for yourselves. But I will say this. People are going through an enormous amount of effort to really go through and write this information. The one article I got on the water and Lyme disease, it's just crazy what people are writing about and the treatment of it and so forth. So, there's a lot for us to realize and recognize, and we're actually going to bring some other people on. But, what do you think? Are we going to do another demonstration?
Oh, in a few minutes. I'm just kind of setting it up. I'm letting you
so organized,
kind of do your thing.
But Karen, let's talk about this. The fact that you were sharing a story in the first segment about the gentleman that had the cancer. And, that's hard to hear the news. There's nothing else we can do for you. So he was at a state where, okay, there's nothing else you can do. I'm going to try it. I will tell you that if you're in the Lyme disease community, everybody will tell you there's nothing else that you can do. Literally, there is something out there. Well, not here. Dr. Darvish will tell you that's not true. But generally speaking, people are really suffering and they're dying. And so what is it about that story with that gentleman that really turned the table for you? To have all those tumors and then have them be gone. It doesn't actually sound real, does it? But we know he's still with us.
Right. Well, it was amazing. I didn't want to believe it. And it did take a long time for me to feel comfortable having belief in electrolyzed reduced water and strengthening the immune system to really help it fight disease and ailments that our immune system is designed to do.
Well, yeah, and then, one of the other things, too, that we're knowing is, and again, I'm not an expert on this, I'm going to be bringing Dr. Darvish back on, is that even if you are on conventional treatments, that you have to get your body well enough to even absorb them properly. Oh. Right?
Right.
So we're talking about absorption. We just saw several demonstrations.
Sure.
Yeah, granted it's a tomato, but think about now about your organs, right?
Sure.
Right.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're actually going to be bringing somebody on the show that wants to weigh in, apparently, in the conversation. For those of you out there, again, and I'm going to have a website up here shortly as well. And let me just tell you what it is. I'll tell you that when we come back, because I want to ask Dan which one I should actually put up. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to take a shorty. When we come back, more with the show, Dan, Karen, and wellness. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Leslie Fontaine. Have you ever tried to just shift your present moment experience? Do it now. Just move your energy in a direction and watch what happens. Often we panic at the blocks that come up and we just stop. But today, try not to do that. Continue from your heart or solar plexus to shift in that new direction, whether it's in the middle of an argument, in the middle of some depression you're feeling, or some discouragement. What happens for you as you do that? The opportunities are amazing. Just hold that space. If you're ready to shift into your best life, visit me at lesliefontaine.com and let's talk about unfolding all that you want to be, do, and have. You'll find sessions, classes, audio products, all to help remove the blocks and move you into your potential. And listen to my show, Sheer Alchemy, on Transformation Talk Radio, Wednesdays at 10 Pacific and 1 Eastern.
Francine Vale is a being of light. She believes that all people of planet Earth are as well. As co-host of the Angel Healer radio show, Francine teaches you heart-centered ways to manifest healing on your own behalf and how to integrate love more fully into your daily life. Connect with your angels as you find your life flowing with ease and harmony. Walk the path of light with Francine and Dr. Pat Basili every month on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Have you ever tried to make lifestyle changes but had difficulty following through? Imagine what it would be like to get up each morning with energy, clarity, and motivation to tackle the day. If you want to get past limiting barriers that are preventing you from living your best life, join holistic health and wellness coach T. Carrie Mitchell each month on the Dr. Pat Show. Or visit lifestyle120.com today and start to receive the personal attention you deserve.
Get into it for 2016. Do you want more prosperity, clarity, energy, and balance in your life? Join Lynn Brown now through March for one of her amazing workshops, each focusing on a key part of living your best life. For more information and to register for one of these amazing workshops, visit lynnbrownevent.com. That's lynnbrownevent.com. And get into it this 2016 with Lynn Brown. So good. Welcome back, everyone. For more information about us, go to the Dr. Pat Show or go to Transformation Talk Radio. And for more information, if you want to find out more, as we said before, we're very excited about this, especially to make sure that we're providing information, and we're providing the machines to people that really are suffering. And so for those of you out there, I mentioned earlier that what we're going to do with the proceeds is going to go right back in. And, all the proceeds are going to go right back into supporting health, wellness, awareness. And for many of you that listen to Lyme Talk Radio, it's going to support the Lyme Talk Radio community as well. That's exciting. I didn't really want to get involved in this unless there was some way that I could literally have the funding come back in and support the level of awareness for all of you, because that's the single most important thing for me. Dan, Karen, great to have you here. Now, we've got a special segment coming up. And so before we introduce Heather, I guess, you wanted to do another demo, or did you want to chat about?
Oh, I think we'll let Heather talk for a few minutes, and we'll kind of show this in a few minutes. So,
okay. Was there anything you wanted to say before we jump into this with
No,
Heather?
I just want to thank Heather for joining us. She's absolutely wonderful and has a chiropractic practice down in Arizona. And I think we'll just let you have a couple questions with her.
Heather, it's great to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. Hi.
Thanks for calling me.
I love that you're here and you're going to talk about this, but there's really the burning question is, what got you to here to talk about the water? I mean, what did you personally experience? Why is this important for you?
So I have two things. So I tried the water with my dad first, who has bone cancer, and then I also tried it with myself. And I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which means I don't lose a lot of weight even though I exercise. I constantly do the carb craving. And within a week of doing the water, my carb cravings have gone, which are amazing because I thought I would have to live with that and struggle with that the rest of my life. And it's awesome.
Tell people exactly what that means so they know.
Carb craving is like when you constantly crave sodas and sugars and breads and things that you don't necessarily need in your diet, but your body craves that because that's what it's burning for fuel. Okay? For my dad, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I want to hear, go ahead.
So for my dad, we found out he had bone cancer in January, and we started him off with the water and the chemo, and his doctor was like, go for it. The bone cancer was supposed to be at it's supposed to be at 0, undetected in the blood, but it was at 1.6. Within 3 months, we got it down to 0.1, and it fluctuates between 0.1 and 0.2 now. So that's awesome. And all he did in his diet was infuse water.
Isn't that hard to imagine when people listening, because I just shared the same thing. When you think about and you say all he or she did was the water. And, we're really wanting to share stories like this because when you're sick, and I'm just going to talk from my own experience, when you're sick, there are not a whole lot of other things that you are going to want to do. So when you say the only thing he did, I can see that, right? I gotta ask you because with myself, my doctors go crazy because they don't know what to think. What do the doctors think?
It depends on where you're coming from. If you understand what the machine is doing, you understand how it's working. If you think it's just everyday bottled water, it's not getting across to you. You have to know what's in your bottled water. You have to know what's in your tap water itself. What you're drinking, what you're eating, all this stuff. I did not believe how much pesticides are coming off the food.
Which we saw.
So that was a big shocker to me.
We did a nice demonstration of the tomatoes, Heather, earlier, and that's all on video. So
yeah.
I mean, I've even posted videos of myself in the clinic with grapes, plums, things like that. Things that you normally wouldn't see come off of that. So if you think you're eating healthy, there's organic pesticides out there.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
You could be going to the farmer's market thinking you're getting all organic, but you're still eating the chemicals.
So Heather, what are you doing?
Education.
Yeah, what are you doing with the? Tell me what you're doing with the water now. How are you using it now?
I'm using it with my patients. So everything that you can think of is inflammatory, right? Disc herniation, dehydration cause, muscle tears, dehydration cause. Everything is all related back to your water, okay? So if you're not drinking properly and you're not eating properly, your body's going to take it from somewhere. Okay? So what I do is all my new patients get at least 1 to 2 gallons of free water as they walk out the door. And when they come back, they're like, oh, my gosh, this is amazing. How do I get this? And then I tell them. I also make sure that they go to the demo so they understand it's not just drinking water. It's about cleaning off the pesticides. It's about the hydration, when you should stay hydrated. People say, you should drink half your body weight in ounces, but if you're still feeling thirsty, you're still dehydrated.
Absolutely.
Okay? You should never get to that point where I'm thirsty, but I'm still drinking.
Yeah. I mean, by the time you get to the thirsty part, that's where you're already in trouble, and we don't know that yet.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
So it's all about education.
Yeah, don't go anywhere because we're going to skip the next break. But Dan, you're going to do something else here, aren't you?
Yeah, what we're doing here is we have a couple of different bottled waters that are obviously some of the bigger sellers, and what we're going to do here is we're just going to show the pH values. Now we'll put up a little chart on your site, but what this is usually going from, it's going to represent your sports drinks, your Coca-Colas are going to tend to be more in the red. Now these are bottled waters. And what you're seeing here is they're very low and acidic. And like I said, we'll put a chart up. And then here's a demonstration of the pH
What
value.
do we have going from left to right to left?
Well, I wish we could. Maybe Karen can.
Yeah,
pull that
Karen's
out
got the book. Karen's got the magic book.
Well, we're trying.
They lent me the magic book over the weekend.
We're just trying to show the different colors of drinks, beverages that people are out there consuming, and they go to the store and in good faith pay good money, and they think that these drinks are very, very helpful. And what we're showing here with this acidic scale is these drinks are still over here on the sickness side. Mm-hmm. So you see, most of these bottled waters are coming in an orange, maybe a yellow, but they're still very far under the 7.35 that our blood is. So working off a logarithmic chart, it works off times 10, times 100. So when you go to consume these drinks, they're actually thousands of times more acidic than your blood.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, tens of thousands. So what I also did want to show is just by taking a little bit of water, now this is clear, normal water, and adding it to these drinks, watch what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to actually change the pH value of these drinks. And this is how quickly just adding this water into your body can literally change what's going on inside of you. Now look at that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. One of the other things we didn't talk about, maybe Heather can talk about this as well, is we briefly mentioned antioxidants in the last show. But we're actually not really talking a whole lot about giving people a lot of information about that. But as I was reading through the book over the weekend, the idea of antioxidants coming from water seems a little strange for people because we think we've got to eat a gazillion acai berries or so forth and so on. And I think it's worth having a chat about that. Heather, what do you have to say about that?
In my personal thing, you're going to get it from anything that has those electrolytes, okay? So I saw on, what was it, a bottle of water the other day, it said natural antioxidants or something, and I was like, well, that's weird. So you have to add that into it, and that's what the machine does, is by running it over those titanium plates, it's just like you would naturally find it in the environment, running over cobblestones in the river. It's the same process. You're breaking that up and you're adding those electrons. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And we've learned so much about it. Yeah. I have an interesting thing, and I want to get back to something you said. You were talking about the body, and you were talking about muscle tears, and you were talking about so forth and so on. You work in this field. Can you talk more about that? Because I have to tell you, something interesting happened to me since my machine was gone. I literally re-injured a rotator cuff tear in my right shoulder yesterday. And so I found that interesting that that happened, and it happened, at a point in time where I wasn't drinking the water. I don't know how this works. I just found that odd.
It is probably already leading up to it, but the lack of water, your body's going to pull it from somewhere. Just like the people who say, well, I have osteoporosis, and I've been finding a lot of people. One, we live in an area where you stay inside all day, okay? So our vitamin D levels are already low. But then you add in the acidic food. Our body wants to stay alkaline, so it's going to pull it from our muscles and our bones, okay, to keep that neutral state, right? you start pulling from that area and you don't replenish that, you're going to end up with those disc herniations. You're going to end up with the osteoporosis. You're going to end up with all the inflammatory processes that we have because we've dehydrated and we're pulling all the nutrients that we actually need.
You know, what is it that we have to remember in this conversation? Because I know right now that, you know, I was listening to a little argument that was being made, not just about the water, but about studies in general. And a very well-known doctor came out and made a comment about a study. And what he said, I found this fascinating. And what he said was, blah, 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 you really can't look at the value of things because, after all, you know, the tests that were only run with rats. And I thought to myself, well, wait a minute. Just about every test we do for pretty much every pharmaceutical that's in the market is only done with lab animals. So I wasn't quite sure about what the argument was, but we're so quick to want to point out and discount anecdotal information and stories. I don't really understand it. It's really kind of odd about how quickly we are to dismiss things. What have you found in the people that you're now giving the water to? Anybody come back? What are some of the things you're hearing?
Depends. So some people really like the water. Some people, I've even heard where they have headaches from it. So you got to cut it back. I mean, if you're eating healthy, you have an alkaline diet already, and you're eating a lot of calcium and dark green leafy vegetables, you can get kidney stones from it. You know, there's things that you have to do and you have to watch, but overall, I've seen better results with it than not seeing it. And you're going to get that with everything. You're going to get that from bottled water. Oh, this tastes funny, that tastes funny. Everyone is different, and that's what is amazing about everybody. It's because everybody is different. But
it does.
Overall,
it does say
40
that.
40 years in business, and testimonials like this, I wouldn't pass it up.
Yeah, I find that interesting too. But the average person is not sitting there eating leafy green vegetables 24/7.
Right.
That is not the country we're living in right now. I'm gonna tell you that, Heather.
No, and that's a good point too, because what Heather was talking about is these things of once we're sick. And what this is about is, you know, not everybody is eating like that. Not everybody's taking hours to go to the gym. What we're doing is offering the most wonderful way on the planet to put some prevention. I mean, I don't know the exact stats. I mean, one amazing reference point is a guy named Shan Stratton from her home state down there. But he talks about the trillions of dollars spent, and less than 10% of it is on medical prevention. It's on sick care. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is a wonderful way to change what is going on inside of us on a cellular level and balance out the other things we're doing, because we're not eating correctly and we're not doing this. But this gives us a wonderful way, without eating 3 pounds of blueberries, to change what's going on inside of us. So,
right.
Yeah.
And it helps me with my patients that I can help them throughout the week while I don't have to adjust them. You know, their body's helping to heal themselves already from the adjustment and now moving into their daily care. So it's not a cure-all, but at least it's helping them some way. It's getting that one soda out of the way, you know?
Absolutely.
It's helping them that way.
Yeah. Let's take a short break, Heather, if you would just hang in there. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up, kind of recap what we've done, and make sure that all of you have lots of information. Thank you for tuning us in here. We're going to take a shorty. We'll be right back.
This one goes out to you and yours. Worldwide. I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back on.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
In retirement, will you outlive your money? It's a common question for people approaching retirement, but it doesn't need to weigh on you. Ask Ameriprise financial advisor Jeff Packman about the new Confident Retirement Approach. You and Jeff can break down retirement planning step by step to get the real answers you need. In fact, 93% of clients who have had the Confident Retirement Approach conversation feel more confident about their retirement. Call Jeff Packman, financial advisor, at 425-453-0272 for your Confident Retirement conversation today. Office is located at 601 108th Avenue Northeast, Suite 1800, Bellevue, Washington, 98004. Percentage based on Ameriprise Financial Confident Retirement Client Survey as of December 2013. The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. A registered investment advisor, Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC.
My play, The United States of China, is about the trial of Miriam Hopkins, who is a metaphor for all that America stands for. It's the year 2018. America has become the United States of China. We've owed China trillions of dollars we cannot pay. Consequently, we default.
How long do you think it will take this financial empire to crash and crumble? Just like that.
This is more than a play experience. It's a movement to create awareness and empower people to be in action. We are strong together. We will always prevail. Get your tickets today at americathestrong.com.
And when I look into your eyes, I knew it was true. I said, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning us in, turning us on. Certainly, we're going to provide you with lots of information, but the reason that this is so important to me is because I've really had to see it for myself, you know, what the benefits are. And when you're in the world and you're dealing with chronic illness, chronic pain, and you pretty much have tried just about anything, you kind of think to yourself, well, what else might there be? And, you know, I started out in the last hour talking about what if I'd have known about this 2 years ago? May it made a difference in my friend's life. May she still be here? I don't know. The only thing I know is that my mission is to bring things to the forefront and make everybody aware. You know, we are talking about the water machine, and it is something that I had to see for myself. But I want to reiterate, I want to just say again that for us at the show, one of the greatest gifts that we have is to be able to present shows about health and wellness. And as I said before, all of the proceeds from any of the machines that get bought as a result of what we're doing here and moving forward, that funding will go right back in to keeping us on air. Right now, the world we live in radio, I don't know if you know it, we pay for every hour of airtime. The prices are going up. They are not going down. And that's why we started Transformation Talk Radio and now TransformationRadio.fm. You know, our goal is to make sure that Positive Talk Radio never gets shut down. And if we can do that and save lives at the same time, it is going to be something that we pay back. Now, down the road, our goal is to give away a machine a month. That is our goal. And we hope that we're going to be able to do that. So if you're listening to this, we haven't even put up a website yet because we're just, you know, we're just doing what we're doing. But Dan gave out his number, and certainly you can email me at info, INF as in Frank O, at thedrpatshow.com. But Dan and Karen, they are the experts. Thank you guys for today. Really glad. Yeah. I would like to just take these last 5 or 6 minutes we have and sort of recap, where we were in the first couple hours, where we are today, and just summarize why is this an important conversation. And again, thank you both for being here.
Thank you. And, the biggest reason that I think it's an important conversation is it's a conversation that when you have with people, it's always the same thing. Water is the same. How in the world can any water be different from the other? And the thing is, we are able, through a couple of quick demonstrations, and then obviously through the process of them giving themselves the opportunity to drink it, to show them very, very quickly that all water is not created equal. No more than driving down the street in a Ferrari and a Ford or cars. They're both going to get you where you're going, but it's a very different vehicle. And what this does is allows you to detoxify your body, cleanse your system out, puts you back in the state of, of giving your body the best chance to heal itself. And I mean, we've talked a lot about that today about, once we're sick, or I have a friend that was sick and they started drinking the water. But what this is really about is a little bit of prevention too, because we have the ability. Water is the most important force in life. We have to drink it. We cannot exist without it. And people have gotten into the, feeling like that a Coca-Cola or some kind of soft drink is a substitute for hydration. It's not. That's not what was intended. Right. Nobody was walking around 3,000 years ago drinking a sports energy drink. It wasn't what was happening. And so returning to origin, getting back to putting in our body in the best chance to heal itself is good prevention. And that's what we're talking about today too. So
yeah, and I think one of the things we didn't really get to talk about is, what we're finding in the recovery area with drugs and alcohol addiction recovery and the effects, and you can Google this, by the way, and the effects that, that this particular water has on detoxing the body and stabilizing the body.
And the clarity and, as far as cognitive.
Well, Heather talked about cravings.
Yeah, sure. And cognitive as well, so the clearing up. But, yeah, absolutely wonderful results there as well. So,
yeah. Yeah, I read an interesting study. It wasn't a study. Actually, it was an essay written by a woman. One of the effects of Lyme disease is called brain fog. And she was writing about the fact that, I don't know how she stumbled upon the water, kind of like I guess Heather was talking about, somebody gave her the water. And she had serious brain fog, almost to the point of blacking out, memory loss, the whole range. Sure. And I was reading the article, she told her story about, I don't remember, it was within 8 weeks or something, those things started to change for her. Sure. Now, I'm not the science about this, but we are going to have people that come on and talk about it. But I find it fascinating, and the stories that people are telling, nothing short of miracles, Karen, like what you shared, right? Right. Nothing short of miracles.
Right. And although we don't make claims, we do have wonderful mothers
stories.
With child
We're telling
with
stories.
Autism. Absolutely.
Autism we haven't talked about. The rise
results.
Of autism.
Right. Amazing results. And with the teabag demonstration and the fact that 83% of this penetrates your skin cells and tissues, it would make sense with your brain being over 80% water why we're getting results. So
it does.
Amazing. And we have, people that would love to come on at a later date if you'd have us back and share some of those stories.
Well,
Absolutely.
Yeah, we wanted to do this today to kind of set the stage. But,
Sure.
You were telling me about some of the parents of kids with autism.
Absolutely.
And autism, when I first started to do the show, we did our first autism show, I think it was about 10 years ago. And I think the statistics were something like 1 in 500 kids. Yeah. Now it's like, I forget the number now, like
alarming.
1 in 75 or
75
something
or
like
80.
that.
It's amazing.
75 or 80. I got to thank you both again. One last question for each of you. What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with? And please give out your phone numbers again.
The message that I'd like to convey to people is do everything you can to learn about electrolyzed reduced water and what it can do for the body.
Karen, thank you so much. Thank you.
And with me, I have to just say, to look into this technology, because I was the biggest skeptic and the biggest Heisman stiff arm ever, and it has absolutely changed my life and in every way that a person's life can be changed. And the results we've gotten with friends, family, people we didn't even know, the people we've come across, it's absolutely amazing. Yeah. So water is not water. And this is truly life-changing stuff, and it affects you almost immediately. So we do free water trials. We do demos for you to come and see, and we're willing to share with anybody. So
exactly,
this is about giving. So.
Oh, exactly. Thank you, guys. I want to thank all of you for tuning us in and turning us on. Benny, thank you for pushing all the right buttons. Linda, thank you for setting this up. Jessica, thank you for being, our camera specialist today. And thank you all again so much. It's because of you I do what I do. We'll see you next time.